We needed a little curtain for the window on this door, but to hang the curtain, we needed a curtain rod. So today I made a little curtain rod, very simple forging, and I thought you might like to join me up in the shop, and we'll take a look at how we made this. Now, even though this is really a simple project, that doesn't mean it won't be without some difficulty. And trying to get two nice tight bends in a short distance always poses a bit of a problem. So I would practice doing that first, try a few things out. And I've done that, and I've tried different amounts of material for the finial and some ideas that I thought might work that didn't work, and I've cut off the ends of this bar a few times. But I finally ended up with something I like, and what I found was this is best done in the vise with the torch to get just what I'm after, to get the bends, and then forge the finial after I'm through with the bends, and it really comes out just what I want. Now the measurements for this, like so many projects, don't matter that much. I am starting with 3/8 round bar, so that's about 10 millimeter round bar, but the length is irrelevant because this is going to fit my door in my house. You need to make this fit your door, your window, or the sectional wall that you want to hang a towel on, or whatever use you plan to make a bar like this for. I can't tell you what measurements you need. You're going to need to do some trial and error. You're going to need to do some test pieces, and you're going to do some math, and you're going to figure it out. Now, what I do know for this project is that I need about 1.5 inches left for the finial end. So that's somewhere in the 40 millimeter range. Again, do some test pieces. And because I'm going to do this in the vise, I'm simply going to mark that on the vise jaw. And then I know when I bring my bar in, I'm going to bring it into that point, and I'm going to make my first 90-degree bend. And again, I have decided that this is a better place to use a torch than it is to get a whole bunch of material hot that I don't need hot at this point. So I'm just going to heat up right at that area. Try not to smack the tripod with the vise handle. And then I can make a nice little bend here. And that's all I need. Now, because I'm trying to get very tight in here, I want about 1/2 inch standoff from this edge to the inside edge of the other one. So I need my other bend right about there, really close in. And this is the part that gets problematic if you're trying to heat it in the forge. I just need a little tiny bit of heat right about there to manage to do this. That's actually too hot back in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quench this so I don't get rid of the heat from my first bend. And with that quenched, I'm going to try this again. I don't want any heat down around this first bend. I don't want to straighten it out. That's better. That's not bad. That's pretty much what I'm after right there. Now initially I tried bending these just by using a couple of spacers and creating a little jig that would bend it. And while it does bend it, I ended up getting things way too thin and it leaves marks, and I just didn't like it so well. So I decided not to use these for the bend. But they do come in handy just for making sure that you got everything just the right size. And I don't squeeze real hard so I don't leave marks, but that helps get everything straightened out and in line. It's a little crooked here, but we can fix that at the anvil. So that's really all the bend needs. It may need to be worked on and fixed as we do the finial, but we'll go do the finial next and then we'll deal with anything we screw up. So I'm going to straighten that little bit of a bow out there. And then I'm just going to hook this over and use the cross peen to flare this, but I don't want to create a step here, so I'm just flaring the end. The hammer's tipped a little bit. Try not to bang your anvil. Generally start in the middle and then work out towards the edges. When it gets thin and cools off, so heat it back up. I think I've peened that enough, so I'm going to just clean it up with the face and make sure it's flat. Then I can use a file to clean up this profile if I don't like it. Now to double check this and make sure that my spacing is right, I've got a 1/2 inch block. Happens to be a bolster, but it just need the 1/2 inch spacing here. And I can kind of check and make sure things are all about the size I want. Make sure that the mounting surface and the bar are parallel, and then turn it around to the other end. Let that cool first before you grab it. And of course the second end of the bar looks just like the first end of the bar. And we'll give this a quick squeeze just to straighten it out. Now if I were to make these as a production item, I would probably make a fly press jig that worked like this, but it would be round or have round grooves in it so it supported this bar completely so it didn't leave dings and gouges. But since I'm only doing a couple of these and don't see it as a production item, there's just no reason to take the time to make specialized tooling like that. Again, try to get this parallel with this. The other thing you need to consider at this point is, did you get these ends in line? Mine are actually 180 degrees off here. Now ideally you forge these perfect, but they're almost never perfect, so I went ahead and did these 180 degrees off so that we can look at how you fix this. In square bar, this gets tough because a twist in a square bar always shows. In a round bar, a twist almost never shows, especially if you haven't done any forging to this part of the bar. So let's heat some of this up and let's just twist it till they're in line. So I'm going to leave a fairly long area to twist. It's even less obvious that way. And I'm using a pipe wrench as a twisting wrench because it will grab the round bar nicely. And just twist till those are in the same plane. Inevitably you'll end up with a little wobble in here, but just pinching that in the vise tends to fix it just fine. And no one will be the wiser when it comes to your finished project. So I've let the bar cool, and I want to clean up my finial end. And that's really all that needs, just a quick cleanup. We still need to put a hole in it. And of course, make both finials match as close as you can. This is light duty, so I'm just putting a single screw in each end. That'll be a number 8 screw, but these are going to be round head screws instead of the flat head screws I usually use, just because I think the little raised screw head will be a nice little effect. So I'm going to heat this up one last time, give it a good wire brushing. This is a bar off the rack, and we haven't done anything to the middle of the bar. So getting it all evenly hot at least once and brushing the surface rust that happens when that stuff sits out in the weather will make a nice even finish. And then while it's still hot, I'll put a little paste wax on it, and this project will be ready to put on the back of that door. Of course, as you do this, there's a chance it's going to get bowed and bend a little bit. So take an opportunity to check it and make sure it's really straight. I don't want to leave a lot of hammer marks in this because it'll make it rough and it might affect the way the curtain pulls. You can also do a little straightening cold when you're done. Well, there's our finished curtain rod, all up and ready to hang the curtain on. The little number 8 wood screw gives a nice appearance and sort of mimics a rivet on the end of the bar, and I kind of like that touch. These little rings to hang the curtain are referred to as pinch clips, and they came from rejuvenation.com. You can find that online, and it was the only place Janet was able to find black clips that would complement the forged rod. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Feel free to stick around, watch a few of the other videos, share the videos with your friends, but then do make time in your day to get out to your shop, make something, but stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next one.